Welcome back to Judith Plains, Montana. I'm BP, and this is the 555 Challenge. It is a rainy March morning, guys. We are down here in the dairy pen, just getting topped off with slurry. Need to get this up to the BGA to keep it full and going. I do have an auto drive course set up. Oh, we are sliding, guys. We are not getting a lot of traction. This is a heavy load coming out of here. Oh boy. We might be sunk. Let's see if we get a running start, if we can make it up there. Otherwise, we may have to put some gravel in just to get enough traction to keep things moving. Up to a solid 8 miles an hour. Down to 4. Nope, we're not making it. Man, guys, that is tough. The rain is making it hard to get out of the pen. So let's go ahead, let's grab some gravel and increase our traction a little bit. We'll do a little run up to the door here and just keep things moving along. Just a little something like that. Give ourselves a fighting chance to get out of this mud. We're not sinking in so much. I think the trailer weight is the real problem here. Yeah, all we needed was a little bit of traction. I think the rain did us in. So, let's close the door. Don't want any cows wandering around the yard. And snake this guy out here. And like I said, we have an auto drive course set up to get this done. So we'll get him up to here. And we want to set him to empty at the BGA liquid in, get him sent off, done and done. He is gone, which is great news. Now, we have $141,000, guys. Couple of things that might be worth selling today. I wouldn't normally nickel and dime us for, 18,000 here, 12,000 there, but I really want to get that other piece of land up next to the field we bought last episode. Up next to field 53. So with that in mind, I think we would do a quick bit of running around and get that stuff done. Now, a very interesting thing happened last night when I was checking over the animals and getting ready to go to bed and progress into March. We were just out of food, like all over the place. Oh, there goes the tanker. Love when auto drive works. Like, we did not have enough TMR for the dairy cows. We didn't have enough hay for the sheep. And I'm not saying we didn't have enough in the pens. We were out over winter. We sold, I think we made too much silage and sold too much silage last year compared to what we need to keep on the farm, because our cows and sheep and goats and water buffalo, our herds are expanding. So I had to buy, I think I bought 16 round bales of hay and 8 round bales of silage just to get the animals fed, which means we don't have it for this month either. And looking at our fields, I believe we should be in stage 3. Yeah, we're in stage 3 on this field. So I guess the question is it worth buying some hay and some silage to keep the animals fed and letting that field grow one more month and getting the full amount off of it? Or should we be doing a cut now? I guess technically we could do a cut now on one of the fields, like maybe the little field, and that would get us to where we need to be. So that's an interesting thought. Maybe we'll cut the one field early and not the others, or not the others, since we got rid of the clover field. I am thinking in the last year we got rid of the clover field and we got rid of the grass on the field across the river that we turned into our second cornfield. That field never really produced very much. With the clover field, we were cutting, you know, every rotation, every harvest. So we definitely are down some grass type fields for our total rotation. Don't think I want to add a grass field back. I think we'll just hold off on selling the TMR. I'm sorry, selling the silage to make sure that we have enough for our animals. With the BGA up and running, I think we can sort of compensate for those sales a little bit. Let's see if we can't get the eggs taken here. Perfect. And then we'll run down here and drop the goat's milk off at the dairy. But yeah, I don't think we can afford to sell silage until we have a good stock of food for our animals, because we did not make it through the winter. On the flip side, we have so much straw. We have regular straw, corn straw, stock straw. We have soybean straw. We have just all kinds of things. So interestingly enough, the beer is a really, really good price. You know, we're talking about losing $40 if we sell it now. So I think the beer needs to be sold. The bread's not a good price. Clothes are getting close, but again, we're looking at $9,000. Goat cheese is a very good price. So let's get in here and head to the dairy and get the goat cheese set to storing. And we will snake back around and go pick up the goat cheese. And run that over to the small farmer's kiosk. We're familiar with that location now. Goat cheese. Looks like there's another 3,000 coming out. Perfect. Like I said, not looking in general to nickel and dime and sell stuff early, but with the opportunity to buy that field, I want to make sure we take advantage of it. So we have the goat cheese. Sunflower oil is a really good price as well. I mean, we're only going to make 10 grand, but it's actually more than we should make. So I think getting the sunflower oil sold too will be good. And then, so we have the goat cheese and the beer, and that should get us to about where we need to be. So real quick, before we run this down to the small farmer's kiosk, let's jump back. We got this guy all stage. I left him out here so that we could plow that other field up. All right, let's grab this guy and our mowers. And let's have him mow the small field. I think we'll be good until tomorrow for the sheep. There we go. The Volvo has reached the BGA. Check on him a bit later. But I think if we get the mower going and we just bale it up and turn it into silage. I know we still have a little bit of straw and hay in the TMR mixer. Should be hopefully enough to get through. If we have to buy a couple of hay bales, we'll buy a couple of hay bales. Let's get the small grass field cut. I don't like cutting early if we don't have to. But based on the shortage of food, the fact that it's going to cause us some grief, I think we need to get this field over here cut, and we'll turn it into total mixed ration, keep our cows fed, and then we'll have our big field to cut tomorrow, and then we'll have lots of hay and lots of TMR. We'll do about half and half, would be my guess, grass and hay, and then turn the rest into silage. And then eventually TMR. So, getting started over here. Let's jump in and get the GPS set. We're on field 60, so mowing, grass field 60, clear current course, load the new one into the GPS, set it off to get moving. Now, the last thing I want to check is, do we need to be planting anything this month? So alfalfa, no. Clover, no. Cotton, grapes. Grass, no. Oats, oilseed rash, olives. Peas, poplar, potatoes, spinach, sugar beet, sugarcane, sunflowers. Now, I did have a thought about turning that other field, the new field with the expansion coming, into a sunflower field. So we'll have to see if that makes sense or not. So let's run this stuff down. We're going to come back up here to sell the sunflower oil. So let's see, we're going back to the farm. Yeah, I think maybe we do swing in here, and let's just run into the shop real quick, and let's grab, well, first off, let's take a quick look at the sale. Nothing here that looks too exciting. I mean, herbicide we always buy when that's on sale, just because when we need it, we need it. I mean, 8RX is nice, but we don't need it. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing here that speaks to me that we need, guys. We're in good shape. So let's just jump over. Let's head over to the bales. And let's grab just a few hay bales just to make sure that we have everything we need. This is going to make buying that field tough if we keep spending our money, but I'm just don't want to be without food for the animals. And that'll be our lesson learned. Make sure we don't oversell our grass products. So, grab this. Interesting place to put the herbicide pallet all the way on top, but okay. No complaints there. We'll run this down to the small farmer's kiosk, get the goat cheese sold. Then we'll probably run over, grab the beer, figure out where the beer is going. I don't want to drive the beer down to the oil plant if it's not going that way. If it's going back up here, we'll pick up the beer after we pick up the sunflower oil as well. So I will see you guys at the small farmer's kiosk in just a minute. Arriving at the small farmer's kiosk, and I need to do a quick bit of organization here. Let's see. We're unloading on the right. That's great. We want to load what type? Let's see. Always have to figure out material type, all hay, goat cheese. That's what we want. Just in case anything was thinking about selling at the farmer's kiosk. We don't want to sell our herbicide. We don't want to sell our hay. We want both of those things to take back to the farm. Perfect. $21,000. Really felt like we got past that flagpole, but apparently we did not. Alright, so we can swing back through here, grab this stuff, and we're going to head back down to the farm. Still wants to stack the herbicide on top of the bales. That's fine. Not a big deal. Alright, so I will see you guys either back at the farm, depending if we're going to pick up the beer, or I'll see you down at the oil plant if we're picking everything up and bringing it back to town. So once again, I'll see you in just a sec. We're back at the farm. The beer does get sold down by the sunflower oil pickup, so it makes sense to stop here, get rid of this stuff, and then head down there. So let's see if we can't snake through here successfully and maybe even get close enough here to hit the trigger for the herbicide pallet going on the rack. I don't think we're going to reach it, but we did not, but we'll get it on there later. So let's run over and pick up some beer. First time picking up beer, first time selling beer. Very, very excited. Also get to check the production, and if we burned through the barley, then we can end our lease, which will help reduce our expenses as well. So, check on our mower. He's doing great. Look at that. Moving on. Love seeing the field getting cut. We need that grass heading back to the farm. So, the Yingling Logger production. Here we are. Going through the scales empty, guys. Says we weigh 0 pounds. Not sure that's accurate. But I don't think it changes the outcome for us. Alright, so jumping into the production menu, looking at the Yingling Logger, we still have more to do, so that is crazy. I think we need to up that production because that is, we're not making a big dent in that. So let's get that set to storing. Here is our beer, should be 16 pallets. Got the first 8. Oh, missed 2. I should have had the first 10, apparently. So just 6 more. You can see the Case Magnum over there working that grass field. Alright, that's 16. And let's set that back to distributing so we're not losing any. Perfect. We are good to go. So, take a look at these beer. Look at that. Actual Yingling Logger. That is very, very cool. So I don't know that we've been to, what is it, BNSF, Montana as a sell point, which is where this stuff is going. It is down here. I assume that's going to be generally en route to the sunflower seed or sunflower oil plant, so we can get that done. And we need, I believe the field is $174,000, so we need just about $30,000 between this and the oil, and I think we're going to end up about 36 or 38,000 in total, so should be in good shape. Man, wherever this Montana sale point is, it is way down on the far side of the map. I really don't think we've been here, guys. We'll have to figure it out when we get there. Maybe we sold something there early. This guy, pardon us, we are loaded and heading on the downhill, bud. We are got too much speed and too much momentum to wait for you. Dealing with 65 through here, too. Not bad. Truck's doing well. Oh, is that the train? I'm betting that's the train if it's all the way over there. Let's take a quick look and see what we're getting ourselves into here. Take a look at the map. Yeah. So it's Great Falls. So that is the sell point. So what do the other sell points look like? I'm not opposed to selling it on the train, but yeah, I mean, the value is not as good anywhere else. So let's see, how do we even get to the train? Where is, I mean, where can you even, okay, so we can rent the train here, and that's right next to the ethanol, and then it goes to Great Falls. So we're actually going here to the train rental, which is even closer to the oil mill that we need to end up at for our next sale. So let's go there, rent the train, and send the logger off like we're transporting alcohol across state lines or something, guys. Putting it on the train feels sketchy, but once it's on the train, it's not our problem. So not sure that we should have gone this way to get over there, but hey, we'll get there. It won't be a big deal. Snaking through town. My favorite cone on the entire map is right up here. We're going to give it a little bit of space. Not going to whack it with the truck or the trailer. There goes my favorite cone. And let's head over. I don't know that we've sold anything via the train yet on this series, so this will be a new and fun experience. Hoping the train comes relatively quickly. All right, how are we going to... Seems like we got to go in through the ethanol plant and then loop back up to the train. Like I said, it's going to be an adventure. Okay, so over the way station. 24,000 pounds. All right. Jump out here. Feel like we should be getting the rent the train. Okay, we have rented the train. Had to turn that on. Probably rented it 2 or 3 times. I'm not entirely sure how we get the pallets on the train. So I'll catch up with you guys when the train gets here and when I figured out how to get everything loaded. So I'll see you guys shortly. Alright guys, I think I got it figured out. We have hand-loaded all of the beer onto the flat deck of the train. I assume that is going to be adequate to get it sold. This is a big train. So let's head down here and get a roll on. Let's see. Once I can see the flatbed, I may try the straps for the whole trailer. I only put a few on, and I want to make sure that that's what we need. Yeah, it says we have 16,000 beer. Okay, yep, readjusted the strap. Still have 16,000 liters of beer. We are taking off. High-speed train heading to, I don't know what BNSF in Montana is, whether it's a city, location, but we're going to try to sell the beer this way and see what happens. New adventures on the farm this episode, doing things we've never done before. Always a good time. So BNSF must be the rail line then. So I wonder where it's actually taking this stuff. I guess we'll never know. Once it's on the train, like I said earlier, not my problem. So any moment now, I imagine we'll be getting a notification. I'll be right up here at this tunnel. Man, these fields go all the way down here. This map is absolutely huge. Okay, vehicle leasing cost. Here comes our beer. Oh, did we lose some beer? I hope not. There we go. $31,000 for the sold beer. What a winner. All right, now all we got to do is run all the way back and get our truck. Go grab that sunflower oil and take that up to the brewery in town and get that sold. So I will get the sunflower oil connected and or collected, and I will meet you guys up at the brewery. See you shortly. Wanted to bring you guys back in just a touch early. I was just figuring something out I wanted to share with you guys. So I've got the mileage counter down in the bottom right-hand corner. And we're at 167.7 miles. When I left the oil mill, it said that the brewery was 11,000 feet away. 11,000 feet and some change. A mile is 5,280 feet. So it's just over 2 miles away, and that's as the crow flies, not as the road goes and as we can drive. So we left the oil mill at 165.5 miles. And we're going to arrive up here at like 168.3. So the mileage tracker is tracking actual, like real in-world feet into miles, not just engine hours or use or something else. That is a super cool mod. So you're actually on this 4X map. We just drove, you know, what is essentially just about 3 miles to get up here, the way the roads wind. So that is something that I think is very, very neat. So get this sold real quick. $8,000, just a little bit of extra cash in the bank. Enough money to cover the purchase of our extra field. and get that plowed up, which will be what we'll do the remainder of today. And then we'll probably, off camera, I'll probably get the sunflowers put in. Maybe even do a quick little time lapse on the end for you guys, getting the sunflowers planted. So excited to have a new and different crop on the farm. It does put us in the situation where our greenhouses have been producing some sunflowers for our sunflower oil, you know, our artisan oil, our small batch stuff we talked about at the beginning. And now we're going to have this big field of sunflowers. Do we need to continue making sunflower oil or sunflowers in the greenhouses? My guess is probably no. So when we harvest this later in the year, in the fall, maybe we get to convert that greenhouse to either more rice or more canola, so we get more oil out of the deal. I do have the Case Magnum running here. Okay, we'll go with running poorly here. Just going to show off how efficient I was to you guys. And here I am, dragging bales all over the field, popping the baler up. Oh my goodness, that was a mess, but we got through it. But the Case Magnum is in the field, getting the grass baled up so we can make silage, because I will have to feed the cows. This is the turn where they get stuck. Are we going to make it? Yeah, not much I can do about the bridge there, guys. You're going to have to swing wide. So, what should we do next? I think we should buy that piece of land. So we'll jump in here. The piece of land in question, we purchased Field 53 last episode, 13.3 acres, and Farmland 141 is 174,007.19 acres. So we're going to buy that. That's just grass at this point. So we're here. Let's go visit and see. So here we are. This is just grass going down to the river and then back up to the field. So I think the first order of business here is going to be to get the quad track over there and get that plowed up. Now the trick, because I've already prepped this field, field 53, is we don't want to connect these fields right off the rip. If we do that, then the worker will have to stone pick all of this, which takes forever. We'll have to spread manure on all of it, which takes forever. Though, have we spread manure on this field? I feel like we did. Yeah, it's 100% fertilized. So what we want to do here is just get lined up and then just leave a little strip between. And let's allow create fields. And away we go. Now, I'm not sure this is the best tractor for making some decent corners over here. It's definitely a good tractor for making straight lines. The tracked vehicles do really, really well when it comes to straight edges for fields. So we're going to go just a little bit over the edge of the field here. We're probably going to have to start scooting back up. That hill's getting a little bit steep. Don't want to go too far down. All right, excellent. We'll pick it up there. And then let's head over here and grab this edge. This is going to be a nice expansion. With this field, guys, I think we're at 100 acres of arable land once we get this field extended out all the way. So right here again, just let it, just give it a little bit of a gap. That way we're not redoing all the work. And at the end, you just run one strip and you pick up the rocks or whatever else could possibly be there. Not a big deal. So we want this to be a relatively nice sweeping corner. I'd say we nailed that. All right, so real quick here, let's get the rest of this plowed up, leaving a small area between the fields that we'll connect at the end. Let's see what we get here. And I think eventually the plan is to buy that big field next door, but that one was like almost $600,000. So we have to be a little bit careful. with that one because it's going to take some money before we get there. But I envision, to me, this whole area becomes corn. And that way we have a huge ethanol and whiskey production going through the entire thing, and we just have one giant cornfield, and then we would repurpose our existing cornfield, well, both of them, the one by the farm and the one across the river, so that we maybe put, you know, a different product in, or a different crop in there, maybe something for a new production, something of that nature. We'll have to figure all that out. But like I said, I think this turns into an absolutely massive cornfield on this side of the farm, looking to harvest, you know, several million liters of corn at a time, keep our productions fully stocked at all times, to the point where buying the whiskey factory makes the most sense. Buying the ethanol plant makes the most sense. It's going to be quite a bit of time before we can afford both of those. But just in general, wanting to get all of that put in and done. So, last little pass here. Just finish up this row, flip back around. Love the quad track. Love the SM72. Or maybe this is the 82 version plow. It's just a lot of acreage done really, really fast. All right, that is all we're going to do with this. Let's make sure we turn off field creation just so we don't have any issues. But yeah, that is a nice extension on that field. I will get the rock picker out over here and get that going. I do think before we head out, it's the SM72. You can tell because the plow, the tips don't touch. On the 82, you can even see it there, SM72 on the side. On the 82, the tips of the plow overlap when it's closed. That's how you know you have the bigger plow. So that is the smaller version of the plow, and it did just fine getting that whole field done in no time at all. I'll probably come back with our little lizard plow at the end and just do that little strip so we don't have a huge amount left over. But before we head out, which I will, as I said, get the rest of the field work done and probably give you a little bit of a time lapse of getting the sunflowers planted so you guys don't miss out on that experience. But let's get one more round of slurry sent off to the BGA. I did send the truck back on auto drive, so it is waiting for us there at the farmyard. We'll drive down, get that filled up, send it back to the BGA, and call it an episode there. So before we head over, we will get the plow placed back in its home. It's funny, the plow has to be pretty far back. Some of the vehicles get a little antsy about it. Okay, that's too far back. Some of the vehicles get antsy about collisions over here if you don't have it far enough back behind that sign. I had vehicles stuck there at one point, so heading back in. You guys may have noticed I've made a concerted effort to wash quite a bit of equipment. We were in a very, very dirty state. We're going to use the quad track to just ever so gently nudge that onto the shelf. Just help us put it away. That's all it's going to do. So, last order of business for this episode is getting another round of slurry. You guys saw us get a round out of the dairy barn this morning, and we also got a round of slurry out of the water buffalo pen last episode. But I think for ease and speed, we will grab it out of here. Love that we had to put gravel in both pens. That's just a great detail from JD as far as the map modding goes. Having that soft mud in there is absolutely the right ticket. We just don't have a truck that is ready to handle that kind of mud. Maybe something like the TLX with some BKT or Friedstein, off-road style tires. Maybe that would handle that much mud with this kind of weight, but we just had to get some traction put down so we can get in and out of the pens. As you can see, we are heavy once again. Get up the hill before we stop. We do have to go back and close the gate, but I don't want to be stopping on that hill fully loaded. Concerned the Volvo might really struggle there. You can even see there. See, there's the mud and the dents coming out over the cattle guard. So maybe doing more graveling over time, but so far we're in decent shape. We'll grab this guy. We want him to empty at the BGA liquids in. He should be good to go right here. So I will send him on his way. Glad to have that route set up. Head down, grab the stone picker, go get that new field we just created picked. I'll plow it all together, we'll get it fertilized, and we will get sunflowers planted. I'll show you a little bit of that action as you head out. But thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos. Channel memberships are available if you want to support my content further, and channel members do get early access to upcoming videos. That's all for today, guys, but I'll see you in the next one.